Hello, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and yes, my villain era is continuing. We have another book where characters once seen as the villains are actually the romantic hero. And much like the way the main character in today's book climaxes, my villain era is still going, and it might never, ever stop. I know the last few episodes have been pretty graphic, but don't worry, today's episode is still just as graphic, but from like an anthropological, I said that word right, anthropological and dramaturgical, if you will, point of view. Maybe the high amount of steam in these books is symbolic of the impact of the genre itself. Villains and monsters and non-human characters all seem to have otherworldly levels of stamina, whether it's in the fictional bedroom or being able to maintain the fucked up fascinations of readers everywhere. And speaking of otherworldly, today's book is just that, as we are discussing the science fiction romance that takes place in Space Jail. Today, we are reviewing Draco, an alien warrior romance by Hattie Jacks, which is currently $4.99. And I am so excited about my guest today. My old improv friend, Meghan Falcone, is here. Meghan is an actress, writer, and host of the podcast Seth and the City, and she was the perfect guest to discuss this book with. So please enjoy this review of Draco. Oh my God, Meghan Falcone, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
I'm so excited to be here.
I don't know if you heard, but my neighbor just shot off a firework like just now, and I think it's for you.
I think it's in honor of being too stupid to live.
You know what? You're absolutely right. So I have known you for years. I'm very excited that you're here. So let me ask you something. You have a podcast that I want you to talk about. It's called Seth in the City, and I see similarities between like kind of the stuff you talk about on your show, which you're helping your brother-in-law find a partner.
We're
And
trying.
and he's explaining to you like what dating is like.
Yeah, so my brother-in-law is a 44-year-old ER doc. He's an absolute catch. He's so sweet and he's so thoughtful and he's a nice guy and he owns property. And he can't find a partner.
So the owns property part, I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's something, right? He has
Mhm.
multiple vehicles.
Multiple. Wait, is one like
Multiple.
a bike and the other is two roller skates?
I mean, they're all cars, but some of them might as well be roller skates. But yeah, so he is, I think, sort of addicted to the apps because
Mhm.
he started dating using dating apps, and so we talk a lot about how there's this like romantic idea of love which is embraced by romance novels, and how that's not necessarily what it's like to sit across from a stranger on a first date and be like,
Mhm.
so where are you from?
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because like listening to you talk on the show, you are a romantic. Like you do get very excited about romantic moments that have occurred.
Yeah, I think I'm a romantic realist. I like both believe in true love and soulmates and
Mhm.
the fact that no one will ever find their soulmate because we live in this complicated world, and how hard must it be to, find your soulmate if he's in Tokyo.
Right. It's so inconvenient. Um,
Yeah.
are you a romance reader?
Becky, let me tell you, I am a new romance reader. Well, with a
I'm so
caveat.
well, you are a reader, I want to say. Like, because I
Yeah.
remember you let me books up like when we were on the same Herald team together that I still need to get back to you. So
That's fine. I almost never reread a book, so you never need to return them. But I do love to read,
Mhm.
and I have always been a big reader. And I didn't think I would say that I'm newly into romance novels, except for one of my favorite books of all time is Pride and Prejudice, which I
Mhm.
guess is like an original.
The OG.
It's
I've
an
never
OG,
it's an OG. I don't know what that means, but
Mr.
yeah.
Darcy.
Yeah.
But it over the last few years, I had a friend give me Manacled. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar.
Yes, 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 yes.
Manacled is the Harry Potter. Handmaid's Tale mashup fanfic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and nothing has ever spoke to me in literature the way that book did.
Is there like a specific reason why, or a specific moment or scene in the book?
It was, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Mhm.
Like, spend many days. I live across from Universal City Walk, so I just like go to the Three Broomsticks for a drink sometimes. And so that spoke to me. And then I thought it was so sexy.
Mhm.
Like, this is really dicey because like it's not like I don't think rape fantasies are a positive thing, but the book functions in this way where you know that it's probably like there's like a almost like a no spoilers for this book, but there's it happens in parts where she Hermione is the protagonist and she can't quite remember her history, and so you know that there's more to the story than what's being told when
Mhm.
Draco is being forced to have sex with her. But it is so good. And so, anyways, from that, I got deep into romance novels, and I actually, for my birthday, my husband got me a subscription box called Romance and Chill.
Nice.
So
Very
it's
cool.
just like a bad romance novel each month with like a like Rice Krispie treat snack and some bath bombs.
What a dream. What a
Yeah.
dream. And so is there a book that you got right now that you're reading right now, or that's going to be delivered, that you're looking forward to reading?
Just arrived is something called, I think, Ruthless Night.
Ooh.
I know. That yeah, it's just like this like very statuesque man on the cover with tattoos all over his body.
Mhm.
So I'm
I love
excited.
it. Love it.
What are you?
Do
Are you reading anything
I
besides what we've just
besides this
read?
book we read, I just finished Draco, the book we're reviewing. I just got the it's called, oh my god, no, oh gosh, I this is it's my friend's book. She's gonna kill me that I'm like blanking right now, but it is
She
called
wrote it.
The Backtrack. Aaron LaRosa, I'm so sorry. I literally had the biggest brain fart. The Backtrack. I literally just got it today because it was pre-ordered, so that's what I'm gonna start.
I think titles are very hard to remember, especially in the age of Kindle. You almost never see the title.
No, I can't remember titles, and I can't remember like authors. Well, no, but I
Don't
can't
tell your
like
friend.
I can't remember anything. But I think when it comes to like books, particularly, the thing that I always latch onto are like the memorable scenes. Like
Yes.
that's what I remember if I'm recalling something.
I'm the same way. People will be like, "Oh, what's that book about?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure." But in this one scene, they're in a castle and like everything is falling, and they're like, "That's not the plot." And I'm like, "No, but it is what I remember most."
Exactly. And you'll remember it from years from now. Like someone will be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm really in the mood for a castle falling book." And you're like, "I know a one."
I do think that's what's great about romance novels. They're very visual. They
Mhm.
sort of employ all your senses, so you do remember them longer than great literature that
I
perhaps you should.
know.
Like, what happens in Catcher in the Rye? I don't know.
Well, I think he yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I remember that one scene in the car.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is true. Like I remember like the emotions of Catcher in the Rye, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like do I remember like a plot point or like anything else that like would be on an English test? Absolutely. I would fail the test. I would
No.
absolutely fail the test.
But from this book, Draco, that we read, I will never forget magical pre-cum. It will live with me forever.
I read a lot of things with cum in it, like you know, and I it sends me on like a spiral of just like thinking like magical cum, like not just like regular from humans. That sucks.
Gross. Yeah.
Ew, that's disgusting. I'm talking like creatures and aliens and things like
Yeah.
that. And I was like up for the last 3 nights thinking about this magical pre.
I was at a party where it was definitely not okay to talk about the magical pre-cum, and I brought it up very loudly. And then everyone had opinions. And someone said that there is something, and this is all, don't ever quote me on this because it's all wrong what I'm about to say, but there's something in the animal kingdom where some animals do have um pre-cum that is like numbing or something, or like sort of
Ooh.
like some sort of psychedelic, so that Yeah.
Ooh.
So maybe it's based in science, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think it could be. See, I was picturing like I was thinking like it had glitter in it, but edible glitter.
Yeah,
But it was also like
definitely.
magical. Like that's what it looked like, you know. I just wanted glitter in it.
It's just like did you ever play with those like plastic tubes with gel in the middle of them that children
Yes.
play with that are so phallic?
Yes, yes. And they like fall out of your hands and like
Yeah.
bloop. Yes,
But
yes.
they're filled with glitter always. That's what I
Exactly.
imagine the penises of our Sarkarni to be like.
I completely agree. We imagine the same thing for this book, and I'm very excited about it. So, here, let me get into a quick synopsis. We reviewed Draco, an alien warrior romance by Hattie Jacks, which is currently $4.99. Okay, so here's the synopsis I wrote 5 minutes ago. Okay. Forget orange is the new black. When it comes to the endless maze within the space prison Kyrakos, the only thing that gets Draco's flames a flickering is Amber, a human woman abducted from a distant planet called Earth. In Kyrakos, Amber feels like she is nothing more than a tiny piece of star gunk. But when she enters Draco's orbit, the shape shifting dragon alien realizes they are fated mates. Their connection is hotter than a horny binary star system. And they learn that sometimes the person with the key to your heart is the key to your survival.
Wow, that's so good.
Thank you so much.
I feel like you really captured all of it so well.
Thank you so much because I was having trouble doing that. This book, I have to say, especially when you were talking about like visuals and like feeling and sensing things within romance, was bonkers in terms of that.
Yes, 100% bonkers.
To the point where I had a very hard time understanding, or for me at least, visualizing this prison maze that she's stuck in. Like, what is it? Is it cool looking? Is it not? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just let it go, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because at a certain point I was like maybe like three-fourths of the way through the book, the way they described the prison maze sort of shifted to being like it was a planet itself or something.
Yeah, or like a moon or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and there are like nice parts of it. Like there's quadrants where there's like because like Draco is the head of a quadrant
yeah, yeah,
and but
yeah.
he's a prisoner, but
Mhm.
whatever. Um and it's like it seems like he's got good nice digs, you know. There's like a beautiful bath and like
Yeah. He has like, well, he can also get her luxury like silk clothing made with a flick of his hand. He's just like, do my
Mhm.
bidding, make my mate some clothes. That
Yeah.
really appealed to me. I
Oh my
like
god.
clothes.
The clothes, like honestly, I did think the clothes were really interesting in this book because, like, you know, whatever. It's like she's running for her life, her clothes rip off, and she's like in
Yeah.
prison, whatever. But once you know she has her pretty moment, pretty woman glow up moment, the clothes are like it feels like they slap onto you. Like, remember the wristbands?
Yes. Yes, exactly that. She was like, it just sort of like suctions in and is a corset. And I am interested in that technology.
Me too, because it's like, oh, things stay still. Like it's like things are made to fit you, as opposed to you have to be made to fit it.
So well said. And in
Thank
that
you.
way, Draco and Alien Warrior Romance is years ahead of its time
A
in like
hundred
its
percent.
feminist approach.
I truly, truly agree with you on that. It's so funny to me because I feel like, and I don't know like if it was like this in the Harry Potter book, but like it's like she's in a situation where like things suck and things are so dismal and she's like you know running for her life and in this prison but there's always one thing about the planet that like is something that we on earth don't have that I'm like oh man she's got it made.
Yeah, like it's like she's trapped in an air. Well, many other things, but like the fact that she was sort of like unceremoniously abducted from Earth, and no one ever really describes how that happened or why that happened. But like we do know a great deal about the clothing and how it fits. Is it sort
Yes.
of like checks all my boxes? I don't want to know
Yeah.
about her strange stalker on Earth that she was happy to leave, but I really do
Yeah.
want to know about the corset she's wearing.
I'm kind of with you on that because like if you because like I kind of like the fact that, and that's another thing I like about these like abduction fantasies, which are so fucked up, but I love them. Is like, okay, we don't know about her family back on Earth, so for me as a reader, no one's missing her. That's
Yeah.
good. I don't need
Yeah.
to think that. And then also she's like, oh God, running from aliens. Like, that's what a good cardio workout. I've never been in better shape in my life. And I'm like, this is the attitude you need to have in space.
Amber was like a really great hero character because she sort of is the worst developed character I've ever experienced and the most well developed. Like
Yes.
her dialogue, I'm like, oh, that is in a voice. That is so specific. And then
Yes.
everything else about her was like, who is she?
Yeah. The whole time I was like, I know nothing about this character, but she is the best character ever
Yeah.
written.
Yeah. She's so sassy. I loved it.
She and like she's like she like knows what she's doing because like you know back on Earth she's like running from her stalker. In this she's basically in a maze like running from like interesting alien looking monsters.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, this old thing.
I'm used to running. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I will share, I've highlighted from page 1, and I think this
Perfect.
really tells you everything you need to know about Amber. This is like
Mhm.
Amber's introduction. She says, when we know nothing about her, if it wasn't for the pain in the cuts on my arms and legs it has already inflicted, this could be a nightmare brought on by too much cheese.
That confused the shit out of me.
I was like, what? This is a
I
person who suffers such severe like dairy allergy that it's equivalent to being attacked by aliens on repeat for days at a time.
geez, that lactose intolerant. I was like, hang on a second. I mean, I loved it and I agreed with it, but it's like when I think of like a nightmare caused by too much cheese, obviously I think of like shitting my pants nonstop.
It was such a sexy way to start the story.
What a sexy way to start the story. Um, and you know, it's so funny. Like another line that like kind of like surprised me and made me laugh was when you know they're doing the prison is doing this run and she when she first runs into Draco, this is the first thing she thinks when she sees this alien dragon-esque warrior. She goes, "This is the type of man my mom warned me about." Like I wish I could have been a fly on the wall of that conversation with the mom.
She's like, Amber, when you grow up, watch out for alien reptile men who transform into dragons.
She's like, blah blah blah, mom, I heard it all before.
I did. That was an interesting thing for me. That was such a challenge where I was like, is this bestiality?
You know, it's such a fun question to ask because it's like I think like it's almost like I feel like with authors, and again, I have delved into this world for like a few years now. And
Yeah,
it
you're the
seems like
expert.
not really an expert. There's more better, there are better experts, but I guess like the thing is that I think there are authors who are like uploading this kind of stuff to kind of see if how close they can get to the line of getting a published book that's as close as possible to bestiality but not bestiality, because it's like
Okay.
Amazon won't publish bestiality. No one should publish
No,
it. I
no.
mean, that'd be awful. But it's kind of like, oh, I feel like people are like, how far can we go?
Well, this is an interesting take because as part of my research exclusively for this podcast, not out of my like own curiosity and interest, I did explore Hattie Jacks, the author's Instagram page.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because this is the first book in a series.
Mm-hmm.
And Draco appears pretty human-esque on the cover,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in all
Yeah.
the fan art that she has posted on her page. But each progressive book, the warrior becomes more and more like lizard-like and
Mm-hmm.
loses a lot of the human qualities. So maybe she's just like walking that line one book at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just like this evolution of monster. Like,
Well, that's interesting because I guess I think of like monster romances as definitely not bestiality, but
yeah, but some monsters do contain I mean, animal like
yeah,
qualities like claws and snouts and stuff.
yeah, you're right. Wow, this is really changing a lot of the
Mhm.
way I have a friend, Tommy Dewey, who's in a new movie called My Monster. And it's a
Ooh.
romance story about a monster and a
Ooh.
woman. But now I'm like, is that borderline problematic?
I think it's even better.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. It's good.
It's my favorite movie. I didn't even see it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you read monster romance before?
No, I guess not. No.
Mhm. I mean, it's a fascinating. I mean, I think again, it keeps me up at night. It is a fascinating world because for me as a reader, I think alien romance falls into monster romance because it's like it's you're with like a humanoid creature, but not
Yeah.
fully human. So for me, in my brain, it's kind of all the same.
And you're right, because the way he's described, I guess, like, I guess, he's described as having claws and scales, which are animal qualities, but also how you describe monsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely. Like monsters have scary teeth and
yeah.
claws, as the monsters do.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
got fangs. He's got a cock pouch, apparently.
okay, that confused me. I was like, what is it? I was like, is it okay? So like these aliens are like dragon-esque beings. He can shift into like a bigger dragon alien thing,
But he
but
can't for most of the story because he has
mhm,
a collar on.
he has the collar on because in the prison, even though he's like the king of the prison, he's still a prisoner and he has to wear the collar that keeps him from shifting. um but he talks about his dick. I mean,
Mhm.
and it's like he like calls it like my mating gland or something, and it's in a
Yes.
pouch. And I kept picturing like fanny pack. Like I don't know.
Well, I like that. I had much more of like a kangaroo. Have you ever seen a baby, a joey come out of a kangaroo pouch?
No.
Yeah, it was. I was in Australia and
Mhm.
saw a kangaroo, and the baby's just like sort of like peek out of the top, and that's how I
Oh,
envisioned Draco's penis.
that's cute.
It was cute.
Yeah, a little penis
Yeah, just
pouch.
a little penis pouch. So many questions about his penis and
Me
like
too.
their mating because like so there's this magical pre-cum which is
Mhm.
supposed to make her very tight cunt expansive enough to be able to house his giant
Mhm.
duck-esque penis because it
Yes, it
it
curves a little bit.
it curves and hooks, we think.
Yeah, like I was picturing like kind of a slimy umbrella handle.
Wow, this is the first time we haven't been exactly eye to eye on what this penis looks like.
Okay, okay, this is okay. I'll allow it.
So I have been to the Penis Museum in Amsterdam,
Ooh, that
which
sounds
is
fun.
just this crazy museum filled with what's it called when they like put things in barbasol and put it in a like display case for science.
Um, like,
Formaldehyde, whatever it
oh
is. Do you
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Like, so is it so like it's like sciencey? It's not really like arty.
It's Amsterdam, so it's a little bit of
Well, right.
everything.
Okay, yeah.
So there's penises from like every species. There's like whale penises, duck penises, human
Wow.
penises, like
Mhm.
everywhere. And they're all just like, preserved. And so there was a whole section some birds have these corkscrew penises.
Mhm.
And that's what I envisioned Draco as having because they kept saying it hooked into her. So now I see what you're saying. You envisioned an actual hook, which was a much more literal interpretation of the
Yeah.
text.
I'm picturing like when someone gets like booted off stage at a variety show, like the cane comes. Da, 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 da.
All right, I want your vision now.
But I like your vision though, because first of all, I have a lot of questions about this penis museum, particularly this exhibit. Um, and also it's like you have more of a frame of reference and like more like I feel like you have more. I mean this in the most respectful way. You have more experience with the different types of penises than literally anyone else here.
Thank you
So,
so much for saying that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of dick. But the I thought that because and I guess what you're saying could work, but I'm thinking about human anatomy. So the description of their mating, which also was very confusing for me, is that he hooked into her uterus question mark
Yes.
and then
It's like, yeah.
spilled his seed for so long that her stomach would become engorged and she would fall asleep.
Yes. So it's basically like he is in her, and like it seems as if like it reminded me of like watching like a science like film strip where you're watching like roots grow into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
except this was his like regular cum, not the pre, the post, the during.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, like invading her like a virus, which is not that's not it at all.
Okay, so this is a good. So, did you find these scenes sexy?
I did not I found it feral, and there are some times when I find feral sexy. I enjoyed his possessiveness of her, but I
Same.
think when it got too far, like when it is about like there was something on like I wish I would have known about like for me if I were her like it would be like I wish I would have known about like the fact that like oh you're gonna be in there for like a really long time. I would have prepared myself like
I mean, same. I was like, okay, so there's an initial scene where he like eats her out, and
mhm.
it was working for me. I'm like
Beautiful,
here
beautiful.
for this. Like, yes, this man with his forked tongue,
Fork tongue guys.
here
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
But then when it got to the sex, I was like, this poor girl. Like, what we know is that this man has a giant penis that's so big she has to drink his magical pre-cum to house him.
Yeah.
And then he hooks with some sort of, in some way, into her body,
Mhm.
fills her so much that she changes her physical shape, and then just like keeps spilling it for what seems like possibly hours. Like, that is
Yes.
not, I was like, I'm not turned on. I'm like slightly uncomfortable.
Me too. And I was like, as long like I was like, okay, I guess I hope she's liking it. But
Yeah, she seemed to.
so
But
that was okay. But yes, I did leave it like, oh yeah.
I found it like alarming when she would wake up and be like, oh, he's still spilling his seed. Guess we're still going.
Yeah. Yeah. That felt weird because also it felt like he wants to I mean, I guess he sees her as his mate. So
Yeah.
obviously he wants to like breed with her. But like again, that question they never have the question, they don't have the birth control question before they have sex, and it was very irresponsible.
Amber's mother is turning over, and I'm assuming her grave.
Yes, Amber's mom is so disappointed in her daughter right now. She warned her about this.
Amber's mom is perhaps like the character that looms largest over this tale without ever being in the tale.
I agree. Yeah, because there was a lot where she could have been there for her daughter more. She could
Yeah.
have instilled more in her, but luckily Draco was there in the end
Yes.
for
Yes.
Amber.
Well, Draco, you just said in the end Draco was there, follow, and then you said but before that, and that made me also think about another sex scene that really didn't work for me, that I can't move past until we talk
Okay.
about this. Um, she was being double penetrated by Draco and his tail
Yes.
at one point.
Yes. I kind of that's not the first time I've read a tail penetration scene.
Okay.
I for me, no shame. I'm here for it. I'm like, okay.
Totally. No kink
Yeah.
shaming here.
Yeah.
Question was, at no point, I don't think, did Amber ever describe it with an emotion attached to it. It was sort of just like, this is happening, and then she never was like, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I was just assuming, like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, she's
Of course
liking
she
it.
loves it, you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's where but it is like kind of weird because I feel like if I were reading that scene for the first time, I'd be like, whoa, oh my God. Um, but yeah, I guess I was like, it's like at that point in the story, she already like maybe thought that like his tail was already is a part of him already. Like it wasn't like the tail is a third person. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
I didn't feel
Yeah.
that way. I just felt like in the description, and I didn't highlight it, so I can't jump to it easily, but
Mhm.
it was like, suddenly she felt something. Like, the description was a little vague to the point where I was like, wait, is what I think happening happening? And I had to go back and reread it. And I was
Mhm.
like, I mean, yeah, I guess they were just at that point of comfortability in their relationship that he could dip a tail wherever he wanted to dip a
Yeah.
tail.
I mean, listen, dip a
I mean,
tail, dip it in.
haven't tried it, but
No shame.
no
Well,
shame.
yeah, there is like, you know how like there was like a bit of a time jump where she was like there were like 5 days when they were hanging out together between the runs. And so maybe that's when they tried everything.
That's true. They just went through in the 5 ticks.
Ticks.
I
Oh
en-
my God.
I
Ticks.
enjoyed the that there were 5 words that were in Sarkarni and not translated to English.
It was very funny to me because there's so, like, you know, there's always the like, how do we understand the same language? And then it's like, oh, okay. So it seems like when she's abducted, there's like a translator put into her, but there's still like Sarkarni-esque cursing and you
Yeah.
end words, which is like ticks and nev, like
And
meaning fuck.
yes, and Ev was
And
like a
yeah.
different time uh
Yeah, like an
chunk.
hour. Like
Yes.
I always thought it was like Nev or like Evs were like hours,
Yes, ticks were
ticks were
days,
days,
and Nev was fuck.
and Nev was fuck.
Look, I think we could go to the Sarkarni planet and get around pretty easily, you and I.
It's like really funny to me because like then I was thinking about it, and I know I shouldn't be thinking. I like this isn't something that I need to like harp on. But it's like if there is a translation, there obviously is a translation of fuck within all species in
Of
the
course.
galaxy. Why
Yes.
aren't they all saying fuck if they're all saying like hands, drink, like water? You know what I mean?
Becky, I had the exact same logic hold up in this book that was completely illogical, which was that ticks, I was like, it's just a day. Like, because Amber is like 5 days passed, and then Draco's like 5 ticks passed. And I'm like, so it is just a day. It's not like
Mhm.
22 hours, in which case you would need a different word in the
Right.
translator app. It's
Yeah.
just a day.
It's just a day. And it's like, oh, so then like that basically it's like the weird kinks within the translator that's like weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna blame it on the technology in the alien prison.
Oh yeah, I think it probably got an upgrade, but it didn't. It had some bugs, you know, as most tech does.
Oh man.
Can we talk about the scene where so we mentioned that he was like wearing the collars and but there is a sex scene where he does shift during sex.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that one?
I liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought, well, I thought it was interesting because in all the ways that I didn't understand the maze and I didn't feel like the author necessarily was trying to convey that clearly,
Right.
I did think that her description, I was so clear on the shifting. I was so clear
Mhm.
on how the collar worked and how like parts of them were popping out at times. And then when the collar came off, like the shift in its full glory made perfect sense to me. And I saw it and I
Mhm.
liked it.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
have you read Fourth Wing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So like I
Yes,
am
you're into
here.
dragon.
I'm here for
Yes.
dragons.
I get it. And I especially liked like and like in the end when he was like cradling her in a dragon claw, like at
Yes.
like the post coitus like situation. And I'm like the that was hot to me. Like that to me, the protectiveness of it, of like, oh, when he shifts, he's still himself, you know?
Yes. And just to go meta on this, I
Mhm.
think, as we've said, this author is light years ahead of herself in her progressive takes on
Mhm.
feminism.
Mhm.
I also think there's something like really thematically beautiful about like it was so sexy because Draco was himself in his body,
Yes.
which I thought was really like, I think there's a lot of stuff about like women feeling comfortable in their body or not feeling comfortable in their body. And I thought it
Mhm.
was interesting to be like, this man has been uncomfortable in his non-shifted form. And now that he can fully be himself, it's very hot.
Yes, it was empowering. You know, it's you bring up such a good point because I feel like, yeah, there was a lot of like body insecurity with him throughout the series, like throughout the story itself, like with he's like it made it, like they have to shed their skin. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot. He's like very uncomfortable a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's uncomfortable in his own skin.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And finally, he can like shed it free, be his true self, honestly, I think he felt beautiful during that scene, and that's what's important.
Well, and because she had set it up really nicely. Like in previous scenes, he kept talking about like okay, I the male orgasm is a mystery.
Sure.
But it feels like, based on questions I've asked partners,
Mhm.
men can have different levels of orgasm. Like women can have different levels of orgasm, right? Like we can
Right.
experience it on different levels. Men can too, to some extent. And it felt like his previous orgasms, he was like, I just wish I could be my dragon. Like I wish I could
Yes.
show her who I am. And so you felt like he was pleasured, but not fully. And so in that scene, you were also like, he has hit the 10 on the
Yes.
on the orgasm meter.
Yes, it really felt like in terms of like their character arcs, like this is when they both bring down their walls. Like he has a
Yes.
very serious wall up, in terms of like I'm Sarkarni and I have to blah 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 blah.
Yes. I will say I lost the thread a bit in the back third of the book when he was like not wanting to take her on the final run, but like also not telling her, but she also like there was a lot of miscommunication that seemed like it could have been very easily resolved.
Yes, agreed. There was a lot of like stuff like there is in this like I felt like Draco again was like very protective of Amber, which again was sexy, but then when it
With you.
morphs into no one touches my mate. And that was like that hang up I think caused a lot of that, of like, well, like if she goes with them, what if they like touch not what if they touch her, but like, he it was just like all of his decision making towards that was just like, I don't want anyone touching her, which again, I get, but it's also like, but let's just like keep your head in the game. We're doing a
Yeah.
heist here. You know what I mean?
Which I have questions about the heist too, because I think they won and like it didn't get anything for it.
I think like what they were looking for was a map, and it was like a map was, but like it was like the map was like the key to everything, like whatever. And they discovered that Amber, like with her hands, is able to kind of like navigate the maze on her own, and so they're like, oh, she can help us find the map, and then I can protect her. They fall in love, blah blah blah. But then it's like they find the map, but it's just a room.
Yeah, and then but then I thought if they got to the end, they were supposed to be granted their freedom,
Right,
but
but they don't want their
they don't
freedom.
want their freedom. They love this prison.
That was another thing that was confusing to me because it was like, okay, so this is a prison, and great, whatever, like it can be as cool as possible, but it's still a prison and you want to stay.
All of that was very confusing, but I brought it up in the context of him having sex in his shifted form because
Mm-hmm.
that sort of helped me get past all of those plot points that didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, 100%. Like I felt like it was the sex, and then also for me, Amber's character arc, even though like
Yeah.
you really like kind of like she does like go through like a hero's journey in a way of like learning to deal with fear. And I
Yeah.
was like, I kind of relate to this.
Ooh, talk more about that,
Okay.
Becky.
So, in the scene where it was like she's in his like quarters or whatever, and like she's wearing the nice dress, and like, like they've been having sex for a while, and like, everything, it's like the fun and games of it. And there was like a moment where it's like she looks at herself in the mirror and she like didn't even recognize who she was anymore. They saw like it was her like kind of being like, look at me, I'm not scared, I'm making my own choices. I'm like, you know, it's not that I'm like learning like combat skills or whatever, but I just am like learning. I'm like, in charge of my own chase, if that makes any sense. Like back on Earth, I wasn't really in charge of this stalker, but at least on this prison planet, I am. And that's empowering. And I'm like, good for her.
Yeah. Okay. So initially, I really struggled with this plot point, which is that Amber on Earth was being like terrorized by an ex lover who was stalking her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she meets Draco, who like know that this is probably some sort of like psychological shortcoming, but I'm really into the like, you are mine, I own you.
Oh,
Like,
it's not a shortcoming. I think that is it's human. That's what it is.
I loved it, but I was like, just from like, from a writing perspective or a character development perspective, I was like, it's really hard to sell me on this woman who had a stalker, then like loving a man who's like,
A
no one
stalker.
look at her. He's a stalker. But I guess we we talk a lot on Seth and the City on my podcast about intention and how like
Mhm.
sometimes when you go on these dates, like the same exact scenario can play out and you just feel a different intention with a different person. Like they can say the same thing, do the same thing, and one
Mhm.
person makes you feel comfortable and one person makes you feel really uncomfortable. And I was like, I guess that's what I feel like. Draco just does love her so much and want to protect her
Mhm.
that it's okay that he's a stalker.
Yeah, I think like what it is like this is from my understanding. Like I feel like the stalker was just like it feels like the stalker may have been for her like I want to own you, I want to control you. It makes me feel powerful. But for him, it felt like Draco was like I want to like make the world yours and I will do that via protection, if that makes any sense. Like I want the
Yeah.
ultimate happiness for you, and that I think maybe that nuance there is the difference between a stalker and a lover and your true love soulmate.
Well, but because of that scene that you just described, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
right. Like he is making her see herself differently, like see herself as this powerful person who could have the world if she wanted it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Wow, Amber really goes through it.
she really does, and then we don't know nothing about her, but
Nothing. Nothing. Wait, what did she do? Was she a journalist? Is that true?
was a photographer
A
for a
photographer.
local newspaper.
That's right.
Again, which like interesting, like there were a lot of like interesting things about Amber, like there, like the fact that like I thought it was really interesting that she can like find the, can
Yes.
navigate the maze. She's the only one who can unhook these the
Colors.
collars. And I was like, okay, is this indicative of like those like movies where it's like the Matrix or whatever, I don't know, or even like a Game of Thrones where it's like there's the fated one or the destined one, the one who is chosen. And I was like, is it that, or is it just that she can just like find the button?
Okay. Well, I had a big problem and I really liked, so I was really torn about this plot point where the author explains that the reason she can do this is because human DNA is like somehow programmed into the
The
steel of
maze.
the maze. And so yeah, so I was like, because I was like, oh, that makes me so mad because she is the fated one, like she's supposed to be here, only she can do this, and then it's like, oh no, all humans can. Well, honestly, that makes more sense than
It does
this.
make more sense, but then it made me wonder, is this maze built by humans? Like, is there some conspiracy going on that all of the people on Earth don't know about like interstellar travel, that the human beings have left this planet light years ago to make prisons?
But also, on the map, they identified there are other humans in this prison,
Yes, there are
which
5 other humans.
I'm like, the good version of that is like one of those humans was the architect behind this whole prison. And the bad version, which is what I assume it is that they're
Mhm.
all women who are gonna be mated with the other Sarkani.
Right. They're all like abductees. Yeah. I mean, I get, yeah, but that would be like really cool of just like finding some woman who's like I don't know, because there is a Squid Game element kind of to it.
Yeah.
Because like one there when there's these things in the prison called the run where like the prisons are able to escape for their lives, and this is like entertainment for like space billionaires to watch, like really cool. So it like makes me wonder like, oh, if is she playing the game, is there a character who a human playing the game just because she wants to play with her friends? Like, she wants
I
to
love
feel
that
alive
take.
again. She wants to feel alive again.
I'll read that spin-off book.
It's so funny to me. And I don't know if you like find this like in romances that you read. Like obviously with romances, like it's the love that's the main story, but I think my brain is always going off on like these side stories and thinking about things that really don't matter, but
Oh,
that I love thinking about.
yes, especially when you're reading something that is such world building, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something so exciting about reading. I really like when you asked me if I wanted to do this podcast, and I was like, absolutely, yes, I love this podcast. I said I like world building, like other world romances,
Mm-hmm.
because I think there's something universal about a romance story.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone understands love, understands the desire to love and be loved. But then when you put that in a world where you don't understand any of it, it's
Mm-hmm.
so cool to explore in your mind this other creation that, like, you know, doesn't
Yeah,
exist, you didn't know existed.
absolutely. Like it, like you do ask question upon question because there'll be something that like in these worlds that are like really small and you know, I don't know, that seem very insignificant. Like for example, the fact that they all take baths in this prison. There's no showers, it's all baths,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like, well, what is that? Like I know that's like kind of like maybe it was just like built into the prison, but it's like, well, there's like what you like what is like soaking and like standing underwater is like way they're like two different things. And like how would these prisoners feel if they went to a prison on Earth and like were in showers and they're like, what's falling? You know what I mean? It's like there's a culture shock there, and it's
Yeah.
like there's a larger.
Which, speaking of the baths, I also really liked that occasionally Amber's character as the human would point out some of these culture shock things. Like, I really liked when
Mhm.
she was like, Draco, why did we have to go on this perilous journey to a bath when there's a bath in your room?
Yeah. He's like, because I
Like,
need to shed. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like,
She's like, I think you could have just done that in the bathtub in your room. I,
yeah. But maybe that was when he was too embarrassed to shed in front of her. And it's like,
yeah,
still going in.
he had to get his body positivity up.
I know. He needed to shed in a place that made him feel like himself. And you know what, Draco? Thank you for your vulnerability.
I mean, shifting dragon aliens, they're just like us.
Really, just all these hardships. One thing that confused me is that like so he like his species, Sarkarni or whatever, um, they're a dying out species, it seems like.
Yeah.
And being in this prison for some reason is going to help them reclaim their lost planet or something.
Yeah.
Um,
It was
the
squishy.
it was very squishy. This is what I'm assuming. Which is fine. I really don't. It's again not anything you need to care about. But I did get confused because his brothers or his like henchmen or both were Drega. He's Draco, and there were Drega and Drax, and I kept like getting kind of confused sometimes of like who's who. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. And there was also like Dracis was
Yes.
not a brother but was a guard or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I will say by the end, I was very on board with Drax's story arc. Drax is like this tragic figure. He
Mm-hmm.
was mated with someone on their planet and then went out for a mission. And when he came back, the whole planet was destroyed. So he lost his like one true love. And
Yeah.
that's why it actually helped me feel more invested in them finding this map that was very
Mm-hmm.
squishy, because I was like, well, maybe his mate is out there and we're going to find that.
Oh yeah.
Because wouldn't that be sweet?
It would be so sweet. I mean, definitely his mate is in that prison. We like I think he's gonna get his book. And like
I
if
hope
he
so.
if
He
not,
deserves it.
what are we even doing?
He really deserves it. And he was having the hardest time in his skin. He really needed to be a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just like my heart broke for Drax.
Yeah. They really felt like just the discomfort within their own bodies and like being themselves. Like it was like yeah, they were like kind of these high power figures amongst the prison population, but I think that these were still very much outsiders, and they let the outsider and the feeling of being an outsider really got to them. They weren't willing to admit to it, but I think it was really getting to them.
I think you're right. I think that there's something I really like in romance novels where I feel like it happens a lot where like the guy has high status, but somehow that high status is inaccessible to him, right? Like he's rich,
Mm-hmm.
but he can't access his money. He's powerful, but he's like done something bad, so he can't have the position. And so I liked that for these guys, that they're like the collar made what made them great so inaccessible.
Mm-hmm.
And I found like the visual tension of that to be really powerful, as opposed to sort of like the theoretical tension of like, if you
Mm-hmm.
do this, maybe you'll have access to your trust fund of other stories.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like kind of like you still felt the necessity of the stakes, even though
Yes.
one is money, the other is like being your true being your true dragon
But
self.
that's what we all just want to be, as our true dragon self.
I mean, really. What do you think about the concept of like fated mates? And this is also kind of something in Fourth Wing as well, of just like people who are drawn together by destiny, not of their own doing.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like maybe like 1 out of 20 times it doesn't work for me, if it's like you have to buy in right away to the fated mates thing, which I
Yeah.
did in this book, where I was like,
Mm-hmm.
they see each other and it's on for both of them, right? Like there's
Yeah.
danger, it doesn't make sense, but they just know that it's on.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that as a romantic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do
I
you
mean,
like
it is,
it?
I do like it because I think it like kind of does make you think about the concept of like free will, like can you like if you can't like choose your mate, like what does free will look like within your society, like within or on your planet? And is that free will also something that like in reality we currently deal with? Like are we not I'm not saying like are we destined to find someone, but is there like some sort of like algorithm kind of like navigating our moves in a way that's making us meet this person or not meet that person, that's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I sound like I am on magical cum right now.
No, I understand. Okay, so you're saying within the idea of fated mates, which you're on board with,
Mm-hmm.
do you still have free will within a universe where you are destined to meet someone at a certain destined
Exactly.
point? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what it's like? It's kind of like those shows like Curb that are loosely scripted. Like there
Mm-hmm.
are plot points where you have to get to, but you can sort of
Yeah.
say whatever to get from point A to point B. But
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
like that's what's so interesting.
yeah. But I think I like it because I guess because I'm married, and I like to think that like whatever happened, we were going to find each other, which is just definitely not true. Like we wouldn't have found each other if we both didn't live in Los Angeles. But
Mm-hmm.
but I like to think, okay, this is what I think it is. I'm also on magical pre-com.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like if I go to a restaurant like the Cheesecake Factory, it's
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming. There's so many
Yep.
options. It's like
Mm-hmm.
not even a good time for me because I just can't even flip through all those pages.
Yes.
If I go to like a gastropub in Hollywood, and I'm like, there are 8 choices and I have to
Mm-hmm.
pick one of them, and I'm a vegetarian, so that means there's
Mm-hmm.
one choice for me.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I love it. It's so great. I have one option and it's solved for me, and I don't have to overthink it. And so that's what I like about the fated mates thing, is that you just sort of in stories, but also in the idea in real life, is like, I think you still have free will. I think you can still make other choices, but like one really big decision is taken care of for you.
Oh, I see. It's so funny because I equate it to like going to like yogurt land, like with all of the toppings and like,
Yes.
you have like every topping available and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. But if there were less toppings available, like you could put together like a pretty interesting kind of combination. But if you're just putting this topping and that topping, like you can get just a mess of a yogurt. And
Yes.
like I didn't ask for that.
No. And that was my 20s.
Yeah. There's just like a
It
bunch
was
of
very
bad
bad.
yogurts.
I was like the beginning of this book. I was like, too much dairy. It's very bad.
No, it was like mixing strawberries with Oreos or well, actually that sounds
That's
good. But
good. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
that does sound pretty good now that I think about it.
I've had ice cream every night this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you have to. It's a heat wave. You're allowed to.
It's so hot. I know.
I know. It's so hot. Okay. Another thing I really liked about this book was the fact that there were like it felt like the author had a lot of fun with the different alien species and monsters, like kind of tinkling around this prison maze. Like there were a lot of like fun descriptions,
Yeah.
of like this person was spongy and that person had three eyes and that was like a blah blah blah.
Did they work for you? Did you ever see the person? They were very hard for me.
I so it was hard for me to imagine, but I think like coming from honestly, coming from writing for kids shows, I thought that was interesting as a kids TV show writer when it's like you're trying so hard to come up with like some sort of interesting monster to like capture kids' attention. So I will say maybe that's why I liked it, not from a romantic or sexual standpoint at all, but from like a creativity point.
Well, that's legit. I feel like there was only, that family that like helped Amber when she got she needed new clothes and it
Yeah.
was her feet hurt from
Yeah.
running
Oh,
so
she
much.
hurt her feet.
Yeah, her feet were
Yeah.
hurt. I could see them because they reminded me of the little species in The Mandalorian. The
Yes.
So I was like really on board with them and I liked that they kept coming back.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but like the three-eyed person, I was like, all I know is the three eyes. I'm pretty confused about the rest of the body.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like, this is like I think what I was picturing was not any type of had any reference to a romance. It was like, oh yeah, I watched that anime like 5 years ago. That's what I'm picturing. Like
Yeah.
definitely not
You're
like
just pulling
anything.
from all your different
Just
sources.
pulling from different sources.
Yeah. I
Um,
I
oh, go ahead.
well, I thought that I felt like the descriptions were hit or miss for me.
Hmm.
But I really liked, like, I felt like it was a fast read in that she never lingered on descriptions I didn't understand for too long.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things that happened in the book was on page 149
Mhm.
when the author used the word dispersed instead of dispersed. So she used the
Mhm.
word for like distributing money instead of
Mhm.
people going back to
Like
whence they
scattering.
came.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that because I was
Hmm.
like, it's possible in this world that is what dispersed means.
Yeah.
And like, because we're in this other world, anything goes.
Yeah. Where I had that thought was like in the Draco species, they refer to coming. I'm sorry, it goes back to come,
It's
but
all
he
about.
it's really all about come. But like he refers to it as spilling my seed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, in human world, that's the most disgusting thing in the world. But for Draco, like that is like saying what he that for his species is dirty talk, and that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of the language they use, like they would say like, that's my female, that's my male.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was like, that's weird and I'm here for it. You know?
Yes, absolutely. They were almost like cavemen in a way of like, like it was very like, I see what you're saying. You're saying it wrong. I see what you're saying and I respect it.
Yes, fully. The only thing that didn't work for me in that way is that like Draco, from the moment he like ate her out, was
Hmm.
obsessed with getting her pregnant.
Yes. And
And
that yeah.
I was like, just enjoy it. Like you guys haven't even known each other for 5 ticks yet.
I know. Give it a few, you have to at least give it two ticks before you're thinking about
Yeah.
babies.
It was a little fast.
And that is so see that to me is so fascinating because like oh where Draco's from they probably don't have dating like they probably don't have like the idea of like courtship and it's like that's you know
Yeah, you're right. It's because if you are fated, like you don't have to butter anybody up. You're just like, this is what it's supposed to be.
yeah like I feel like Draco's mother would be like what's taking so long.
Do you think Draco's mother and Amber's mother would get along?
Oh, that's actually a really good question and I need to read this book. please write that book of just like the alien mother-in-law and the human mother-in-law not getting along. Oh, mwah.
Yeah, it's like it's like a Annie Hall, like when the
Yes.
but with
So what do you do? You know, and it's like, well, you know, I kind of just like blow things up on a daily basis and get in wars with other species. And she's like, oh, I'm an accountant. Like,
we have so much in common.
yeah, I appreciate that, you know.
uh, I had highlighted this from page 177, which
Mhm.
is one of those sections where the language was so like problematic, but also worked for me.
Mhm.
Draco said, you know, he really wants to have sex with Amber, but he is gonna rise above what his base instincts. He
Mhm.
says, my cock will need to remain sheathed, and my balls will have to remain hopelessly constricted in my pants. I will feed my female, and then we will prepare for battle. And I was like, what a guy.
What a guy. It's so funny. Like that stuff, like it sounds like a Viking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Which, like, not to bring it to present day, but like, I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Mhm.
Hate me for it, but I am. And um, Travis Kelce to me is like the modern day Viking equivalent, where I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's an idiot, but like I get it. I get he's gonna
Mhm.
be like, woman, you are mine, and I get it.
Yeah, like I am not a Taylor Swift person or a football person, but I kind of like I really do enjoy seeing the imagery of like after he wins the Super Bowl and they kiss. I'm like, this is I want tattooed on my back. That's like
Well, maybe not that. Let's see if it
no, not
works
that
out for
far.
them.
Yeah, that would be weird. But like there was something like very like there's something very sexy about like kind of like the one track mind kind of Viking warrior who's just like kill, 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 and then will stop everything for like my woman. Like she's his one weakness. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
which it was like for Draco, it was like he actually lost his mind when
Yeah.
he
He full on loses his mind to the point where it's like, okay, like
just let's just chill. I wonder if if female Sarkarni's vaginal juices have
mhm,
any sort of psychedelic powers for the man. Like, can they force the man?
interesting.
Oh, hey, that was really cool too. They
Mhm.
said that the females are like the brains of their species and like
Yep.
they're the ones who keep the men in check. And I was like, we
Mhm.
could use some female Sarkarnis in our government.
100%. Yeah. Like she even says something that, you know, like that, like Amber says something that I think like really very much resonates on planet Earth. That like people that they're very much threatened by females, you know, like
Yeah.
there's a threat that Sarconi females serve towards like the Sarconi men, but the Sarconi men still put faith in them and still trust them. And, you know, like their society wouldn't have gone on. And I think like I think that's something human men should learn from. You know, sure we're threatening, sure fear us, like that's sure.
Yes, fear us.
But that doesn't mean like any sort of trust or like or any that doesn't mean it implies any sort of distrust. And I'm like, what an interesting society. You can be scared of someone but still like very much trust them.
Yes, I agree with that, and I feel like this should be reading material for all sixth grade boys, so that they learn how to treat their fated mates.
Agree. I honestly agree with that. Like they'll love the content, but they'll really learn something.
And I think they'll take away these thematics we're talking about, and not just the pre cum.
Yeah, not just really kind of spoil them for when they lose their virginities. Yeah.
I had a dinner party, and a friend brought a new girlfriend, and I was obviously talking about this book because it's all I've talked about for
Mhm.
a couple of weeks, and she was like, this is so crazy. My mom is a romance novelist.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to read her work. And she's like, I've never read it because it's based completely on my dad. And so I
Oh.
was like, that's so interesting. So, like, your dad is this hero that, like, we want all sixth grade boys to grow up to. But obviously, that's unsettling to find out that your dad is that hero.
Yeah. What's interesting is like, because like the way, like, the men in these books, like they're the ideal man, you
Yeah.
know, like in like they have qualities that like kind of check off these different boxes. And when you realize that that is your dad, you're like, what am I gonna do? Like,
Yeah. And you know what's complicated is that one of those ideal boxes, I think, is like a level of aggression that's not acceptable in today's society.
yes.
Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah. 100%. I think there's stuff that can be done in a romance novel that if it were done in real life, I'd be like, that person should be in jail or like that
Yes.
person needs help. Yeah.
So then it's like really complicated if you're like, yeah, my dad like throws my mom. Like, I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah. Like my dad calls my mom his woman. Like,
Or says things like, oh, this is another thing I highlighted.
mhm.
Um, I want to take up residence in your sweet pussy and never leave.
I did enjoy that. It kind of reminded me, I was like, oh, it's like an Airbnb.
He's moving in.
Why not? It's just like, it's very funny, like the way like alien like these aliens are seeing sex as something that's like put this in here duh, 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 duh. And you're like whoa, like they're so dumb but they're so right.
Well, and the other thing that was crazy about how they saw sex was that they seemed to be like much more public, which I
Mm-hmm.
also found very hot. That he was just like, I'm going to take you right here in front of my whole army. And
Mm-hmm.
Amber at first was so resistant. And then by the end of the book, she's like, all right, do it.
Yeah, I think that is so fascinating and I love that kind of stuff too because it's kind of like, oh, maybe on the planet where the Sarkani are from they're not taught to think that sex should be shameful or like that it's just like, oh, this is just like a natural thing people do. And I'm not saying that like in order to make in order to destigmatize sex everyone should be having sex in public, but it
Becky,
is
it does sound like that's what you're
and that
saying.
is what I'm saying. I want to sort of walk outside and just see nonstop orgies.
I mean, could be fun.
What a planet. Now that's a planet.
No, but I agree with what you're saying, which is that like set like as opposed to, like the sex of Pride and Prejudice, which is like we've
Mm-hmm.
touched gloves.
Yeah.
It is nice to be like, yeah, these people are just doing something because they are so emotionally moved. They must.
Yeah, they don't like they just feel so hardcore. They don't need like print the rules of being prim and proper to like literally tie them down.
Yeah. Okay, this is my confession to you, which is
Okay.
that I started reading these romance novels and became so obsessed with them and was like, they're all pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could write one. And
I
so
think you could too.
I'm like 220 pages deep. I know.
Megan.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. But it's so funny to talk about this stuff because it's like all stuff that you just sort of like in my book it's like, they're destined to be together and like
Mm-hmm.
they're just like learning to be themselves so that they can be together. And so I'm like, yeah, maybe in my book everyone should just have sex in public too, because this is a really good theme, just like destigmatizing sex.
Why not? There's no other way to do it.
That's it. We just have to put it in more literature.
So when you were reading this, were you thinking about like your book at all and like your writing process?
Yeah, I definitely was, because I was thinking about how, so mine is also like it's a dystopian future story.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been toying with like, should there be different language? Like, how different should the
Mhm.
language be? And so I found, I was like, oh, it's fun to see how she uses it, and is it effective or is it not?
Mhm.
So I did start that way, but then really I just fell into the story. I was like, I gotta find
Sure.
out what happens with this magical
Yeah.
come.
At one point you just are like, okay, but like, I mean, I could use this as a lesson or like a learning opportunity, but it's like, no, I just have to see how this ends. That's
Give
how I felt
myself
about
time.
like Fourth Wing and like,
Oh,
all those fantasy kind of, I get like, yeah, like romantasy stuff lately that people are like really into. I'm like, this is pretty fascinating to see, like as you were saying earlier, world building and just the different kind of the smaller details I find so fascinating.
well, I also think it's sort of um okay, I've got a lot of takes on this, which is that like, I think romance novels can't be really good, because if they're
Mm,
really good, they're no longer this like genre. When Bridgerton came out, everyone, I had a bunch of TV and film friends who were like, it's just like poorly acted, it's not good. And I was like, but that's the point. The point
yeah.
is that's this genre. Like, everything is like, no one would ever say the things that are said in these books, but it's like heightened because you're in this heightened reality.
Hmm.
um and so I feel like I feel like you have some leverage when you're in another world, when you're doing world building, because it's like, yeah, I don't know what's normal for alien
Hmm.
dragons, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it doesn't seem as like like put on or like heightened, because it's like, oh, that's just a different world. So I really like when it's like Fourth Wing 2, I'm like, oh, this is just, I can accept it at face value because I don't
Hmm.
know the rules of this society, and I have to like take them as they are fed to me through the narrative.
Yeah, like it really feels like there's some sort of freedom. Like I think that like in reality, like for me at least, like I we all think we're also self-conscious of like how we express sex and how we like, like when we're talking about it and we're talking about our own life, like I think that we kind of close up and we're kind of like, wait, I don't do that. Should I be doing that? Like that person's doing that and I'm not doing, like, you get so self-conscious. But when it's like in a world where there's like dragons and aliens, it's like they can be like, doing whatever and you're just like not self-conscious about your
No, and not only like in this book, it's like it wasn't even an option. Like, because they kept describing him as being, I guess, the equivalent of being like a dog in heat. He was
Mhm.
like in rut. He had to do these things. Oh my God,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Wait, we have not talked about this, and it's so important.
Yes.
Okay, what did you feel about the whole time the tease being, I have to dance for my mate?
Oh, I was like, thought, here's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought that I thought maybe it was like, and I'm thinking about House of the Dragon now because like how it's based on like the dance of the dragons or whatever. So I was like, oh, is it just like he flies in the sky for her as a
Yes.
dragon?
Yes. I had so many ideas of what it could be,
Yeah.
but in the end, it was just he just
He
dances.
just dances. It was like, when you are at someone's wedding and there's like the groom is like, babe, like at the party like the
Yeah.
group is like, babe, I learned the choreography for you,
Oh
and
my
you're like
God.
kind of watching it and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of cute, but then it's like going on a little long and you're like, okay, yeah, really cute, they're doing her little dance.
You're
It was
being so generous by continuing to call it cute. I'm always like, these are two consenting adults. Like, this is what they did for the last year.
it's like I think it's that, and then I also think it's like so like come on, like I'm sorry, but when you're a bride and a groom, you're also showrunners and you got to entertain us.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's the entertainment. I guess
Like, listen, as producers.
yeah, yes, but it wasn't even that. Like, to this point, like a bride and groom executing a choreographed dance on their wedding day, Draco was just sort of like, "Hey, babe."
Yeah, it just felt like the music started and he was doing like step, touch, hip pump. And I was like, this feels like are people enjoying like it just like felt like when you're like awkwardly standing and it's like, is this
Yes.
enjoyable? Because it was supposed to be, supposedly in this world it's embarrassing. It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like, you know, when you're like it's like, I think maybe the one to one was like your bros making fun of you for being corny when you're honest or whatever, you
Yeah, it
know.
was vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah.
But this was like, I it's also important if you haven't read the book to know that like this was teased throughout. He was
Yes.
like, I must dance for you, but there's not time. Now I will dance for you, but there's not time. Like, and then it was just
So
like a bad sixth grade social.
yeah, it was so underwhelming because like in this world, like dancing for someone, I guess is the same way as like your wedding or you're branding their name on you. Like this is like a huge thing. It's like a thing of like you can't just dance for anybody, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then it's just like, oh, like what if like he's like in the prison, okay, and like he accidentally has like a bug in his pants and the way he's moving looks like dancing and there's accidentally a different female in front of him. Like is he dancing for the wrong female?
This is an excellent question. And as you're posing it, I'm like, wow, is Draco a Mormon?
You know, they are pretty pure. I wonder if he was a virgin before.
He had to have been.
Yeah, because there were no other women. Because all the women, or maybe he
Well,
wasn't, and
yeah,
no.
okay.
Um, but yeah, but he knew. It's so interesting because it's like it. I just assume like he is everything. He's a warrior. He's a pirate. He's in like a prison king. He's all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, he's probably getting laid left and right. But maybe he's not.
No. The only people compatible with him are Sarkarnis, who are all dead, and
Yeah.
humans, and Amber's the first one he's seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I didn't even realize it was his first time.
Yeah.
Probably, well, possibly,
Interesting.
maybe.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, definitely first time with a human, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's like it's his first time.
Yeah. Yeah. But he didn't seem nervous at all.
No. And like the fact that like he like his body knew what to do. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, "Oh, okay. He knew that. His tongue works, his tail works." Like very confident
Yeah.
in his skill, not necessarily his body, but confident in his skill.
Yes. He does seem to have like that like a rich white man confidence.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like he's like, I am the best. We will succeed.
Yeah, there is a lot of like
Nobody look at
bravado.
me take my skin off. Yeah.
God, if only there were like therapists for these aliens. Can you imagine?
Wow, that's a really great point.
Yeah,
They need them.
they need them. They absolutely need them. But they have their women. They have Amber. Like I feel like Amber is really gonna help him be a better leader and like help him be more vulnerable and help him like kind of like think more practically too. Hopefully, he's a great ruler.
Well, and it seems like he's going to be a father.
Yes, let's not forget these the HEA, the happily ever after.
Wow.
Wowie zowie. So they're back in the map room or whatever it is. And like the map voice or like, you know, the computer voice is like, there are two humans in this room. And so we realize that she's pregnant and it's like really exciting. But then I started to kind of freak out a little bit because it's like, oh, when a Sarkani mates with a human woman, is the child a woman or is it half human? I mean, is the child a human or is it half human, half Sarkani?
I agree that there's sort of like cavalier attitude towards procreating. I was like, you guys, like, should you be concerned? What's
Yeah.
going to come out?
And you're in a prison. You
Yeah.
can't raise a child in a prison with the runs. Like, are these runs that they're doing? Not the run. I mean, you know what I mean? Hang on, that came out wrong. You can't raise a child in a maze changing prison that other alien billionaires are watching.
But if anybody could, I feel like it's Draco and Amber.
Oh, yeah, that kid's going to have a great childhood. Great parents.
Oh man, I think they need to start thinking about their future, and I feel like if their moms were around, they would encourage them to like be looking a little further out.
Yes, I just think it's like you're making an investment. Like let's be cautious about it. This is a huge investment that you guys are doing, and
Yeah.
there are humans who live in houses, like on Earth that shouldn't be having kids. Like maybe you guys
Just, think about it for a sec.
have fun for a little bit, like enjoy each other for a little bit.
Although, counterpoint,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long it takes to grow an alien
Oh,
human baby. But if
maybe
it's
it's,
gonna
yeah.
be, I mean, if it's gonna be like a year, I think get that part
Oh,
over with
yeah.
in the prison and then get out of there.
Yeah, because the prison has healthcare.
The prison seems to have like a really good healthcare system.
They have everything you need.
Draga can like break into some sort of technology machine and it heals you if you have sore
Uh,
feet. So that should.
exactly. So it's like, okay, you're on the ship later and you're not just like running around being like, the kid has an ear infection. Like, you know what I mean?
Thought about it a lot more than we gave them credit for.
Yeah, yeah. See, it's on us. Like, really, it's on us. As a romance reader, what is your ideal happily ever after? Do you like the marriage baby thing, or do you like kind of like the ending is more of like a happily for now, but we kind of know in the future that the couple will end up together?
I like them to be like, for me, the perfect happily ever after is like is the love moment. Right. So
Mm,
I feel like in a
mhm.
lot of novels, it's like they are trying to figure out if they love each other. And then to have like the epilogue or the happily ever after be like, we are definitively in love.
Mhm.
Like I think the like having a baby to me, I guess I'm too old. I'm like, that's just really hard. Like
Yeah.
that's I'm happy for you that you're having this child, but like, oh, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder for you to unsheath your cock and like willy-nilly.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, what if you go through, like, what if you have postpartum issues,
Yeah, it
And
gets
it's
too
like, that does,
real.
it's not, like, it's really not romantic at all.
No, no. But I guess I think, and I also think like it's sort of barbaric that like a child is the physical representation of like, I guess, consummation, but like it's like they are in love because they've made a human life. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And like, it's a lot of pressure on this child. Like, the child is suddenly
Yeah.
becoming this symbol for something that's not itself. And it's like, oh, well, like, don't you, can't you just like love me because I'm a cool kid? You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
feels like it's, I don't know, like when I see like fan art or something and you see like kind of like the happily ever after with like the couple and they have like their baby and like they're like, oh, if only dreams came true, or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm just like, it's weird that that tiny little potato thing with eyeballs is like, this is the ideal, like this is the trophy that we are all winning if we find true love.
Totally. And I wonder if, well, does that work for you? Like, what is your happily ever after?
It honestly, it's context. I will say that I prefer happily for now because like I enjoy as a reader like just coming up in my head like what their happily ever after will look like. Like, I love like a kind of a final scene or even a final sex scene that is
Yes.
a year later or whenever. Um just because like I feel like when I when there are like couples who have a baby, in an epilogue, and the idea of like being a parent or motherhood or anything isn't brought up beforehand at all, it feels to me like there's an unearned like element to it that kind of throws me off a little bit.
Well, and also, and I think it's important though to say that we are two women who don't have children.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think there's also this like, when people have children, you take on a new identity, and
Yeah.
like you have particularly women, it's like motherhood is a new identity. And so I think it's also challenging to like love a character and go through a journey with a character and then be like, wait, in these final 3 pages, you've become a new person who like doesn't care about running mazes anymore. You care about like breastfeeding your child. Like,
Yeah.
but I was gonna say, I wonder if, as people aren't reproducing at the same levels they once did, if that'll change romance novel endings, if there will be
Mhm.
fewer of these, like, and now there are three.
Yeah,
because people
it is
are,
having less kids.
yeah,
And kids are having, and like the younger generations, they're not even doing it.
yeah.
They're not even getting it on. So I hear, um,
You know,
but
young people?
all the time. I'm always hanging out with young people. But it's interesting you say that because it's like I feel like having kids is a choice. It's a choice. And I think sometimes when you see it pop up kind of willy-nilly in a happily ever after, it makes it seem like the idea of motherhood isn't a choice.
Yes.
And you as a reader like feel this weird pressure of like, especially me being childless, like, oh, am I not living up to my full capacity as a human? And it's like, I just wanted to enjoy a book on the beach.
Yeah, no, I also think there's something like so like I'm gonna say condescending. I don't know that that's the right word, but like condescending about being like true love is a baby, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. Like,
No, it's not.
also like it can just be great sex. Like that can be as far as this story needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite happily ever afters that I think about is the couple, like, they are talking about moving in with each other and adopting two cats. And I'm like, that's great.
That's great. That's great.
That's
You know,
great.
well, I also, though, the version that you talked about before, where there's just like a year later, a great sex scene, I
Mhm.
think that is also a good way to go out because if you're someone who has a child, you could imagine that as like the scene where they conceive. If you're someone
Yeah,
who doesn't have a child, you're like, and after that, they go and get a cat. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
it
Or
leaves
it's
it
like,
open.
exactly. And it's like, okay, things are still going good after a year. Like, the love is still there.
Yeah. They haven't done what we all do and get sick of the person and leave.
I know, yeah. And it's like, okay, like this is good. Like, and you can like you write your own ending in a way. And I like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's also like a lesson of romance novels that we should all just be writing our own endings.
Honestly, like I agree with that. Like I think that there's this huge, how like I feel like in the romance world there's this huge like, or do you like happily ever afters or do you like happily for nows? And for me, I'm like everything's a happily ever after. Like there's no real difference. Like one, I'm coming up with the ending on my own, or the other is you came up with the ending. Like yeah.
I had never heard those terms before, but I like that. And it
Mhm.
reminds me of your question about free will, which is that actually happily for now leaves you much more free will choices in the future versus a happily ever after, which sort of confines you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think this isn't to say that I haven't read stuff with like children and being pregnant that hasn't been earned. I certainly have read that where like, but a large portion of the book is about a woman who is unable to get pregnant. And so then when she has her child and like that's a happily ever after, the couple got what they want,
Yeah.
there it's earned. But when it's just rando, I don't know.
It feels a little lazy.
A little.
Like,
Yeah. I think and it's like, I know that like, you know, you have to end the story and like no one really remembers the happily ever after, like, because just because they all end the same anyway, like this ends this way, that way ends that way, you're only going to remember like the hot sexy scenes, but still.
did you watch One Day on Netflix? Oh
Yes.
my God.
I'm pretending that the last episode doesn't exist.
Okay, great. Because I was gonna say that's like you're like no one ever remembers the end except for that one where I'm like, oh my God, it wrecked me. And I
I
agree with you. It just should not exist.
Yeah, I loved it up until like, so the last 5 minutes of the second to last episode and the last episode just don't. I had to like, I'm like, this can't exist in my head.
This is great. I'm erasing it from my brain and now it's my favorite show, my favorite romance
Yeah, I
comedy.
love I love those 9 episodes and not 10 episodes or however many it was.
Oh my God, it was so good.
I loved it. But yeah, it's kind of like the tragedy is like, oh man.
Well, did you read The Idea of You?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then did you watch the movie?
I did.
So
Yeah.
they changed
They changed it.
they changed
Yeah.
it to a happily for now, I guess.
Yeah. Which I honestly like, I thought the movie changed from the book a lot because like for me I feel like the book is about like it kind of like it wasn't really a romance. It was kind of about like the toxicity of like stan culture, you know, of like
Yeah.
celebrity and like how like it affects your life and like kind of like the nuances with that. But I feel like the movie they were like, we're just gonna make this a rom-com, you know, and it's like, okay.
Yes, the only problem I have with the movie is that I felt like they like all the good sex scenes from the book, they
Yeah.
like diluted so much.
I know. Yeah. It was like, and I think like I felt like it was a good step in terms of like showing like women's sexuality over the age of, 39 or whatever, and just like feeling desired and needed. But like they could have had the sex scenes kind of like mimic what she's saying. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah. Also, yeah, Anne Hathaway is a mom because they've told us she's a mom, but also she doesn't really look like
No.
a
Yeah.
mother of a 15-year-old.
No. And like, especially with the scene when like they're hanging out by the pool and she was like and I mean, whatever.
Yes.
There was something about it that didn't feel authentic to me at that scene, you
That
know?
she's afraid to be in a bikini, even though we like know she looks amazing.
Yeah, even though she was Catwoman and like her butt was like on screen, like, and everyone thinks about it all the time. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, bad casting.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, Megan, I'm gonna ask for your final thoughts and your score. Now, for the score, we are gonna rate it on shifting shift reducing collars. 1 out of 5 shift reducing collars means you liked it, and then or means you hated it. 5 out of 5 means you loved it.
Okay, 5 out of 5 shift. Okay, I think I'm a 4 out of 5, which means I
Okay.
very close to loved it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I feel the same way. I think that there was like and I wish that I could have been, and I say this now that the penis is a hook, and so I'm like I wish it hooked me in like stronger at first, because like I feel like in the beginning like I just had a hard time visioning like seeing what the author was seeing, you know.
Yes, I agree. And I want to say that I'm grading on a curve because
Yes.
I'm grading it for what it is, right?
100%. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what it is like it's I thought it was very readable. It was very
Hmm.
fast. It
Yeah.
delivered on the things I needed it to deliver on. Yes, I couldn't ever understand what the maze was. My closest thing to understanding was that it was like the shifting stairways in Hogwarts,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
not close.
I don't think it is. Well, because I was picturing like kind of like the Matrix in a way where it was like the world around them
Oh,
was changing.
yeah, I
But
think that's a
again,
better comp.
but I think yours is better because it's like there's it seems like there's physical stuff happening.
I don't know,
Mhm.
but I agree. I agree. Maybe I'm being too maybe like a 3.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it.
I liked it too. I thought I think the characters really did it for me. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 shift reducing collars, I guess. I don't know. I just thought like there was like, you know, a few things that like I wish it would have had, but I was like, this was an enjoyable, fun read, and that's all you can ask for, you know?
And I think the measure of art is
Hmm.
like how much stays with you.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna forget the magical pre-com. It's with me
No.
for life.
I'm never gonna forget that. I'm never gonna forget someone changing into a dragon during sex. I will never
Yes.
forget that.
Yeah.
And I'll never
Like
forget the concept of a prison maze that I can't imagine that like also people want to stay but want to leave. Like I love it.
I will be dreaming about a figure hugging corset that just fits to your body for the rest of my life until
I
the
mean,
technology exists.
yeah, someone out there, if there's like a physicist who can make that for us, that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, thank you so much for being a guest. Tell us where we can find you and where we can find Seth in the city and everything and all.
Well, I've loved being a guest. I would talk about romance novels with you on or off a podcast anytime.
Yes.
You can find our podcast on Apple or on Amazon or on Spotify. It's called Seth and the City, like Sex and the City, but Seth, because that's my brother-in-law's name. And you can find us under the same name on Instagram or on TikTok.
If you like today's episode, feel free to follow the podcast on all social platforms, including TikTok, at TSTL Podcast. You can check out the show notes for links to today's book and Megan's podcast, Seth and the City. And if you didn't like today's episode, why are you still here? TSTL is part of the Culture Media Network. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.